Okay, hi all, and welcome to the information session today in regards to the on-call for creative engagement and the artist pool. My name is Monica Carney Holmes, and I'm with the Charlotte Urban Design Center in the city of Charlotte. And our format today is I'm going to run through just a quick overview and presentation and some of the questions already asked. We'll go over each of those. And then there will be an opportunity for you to put questions in the YouTube chat. The best way to do that is to log in to your YouTube account. And if you have a Google account, you can do it that way or use your actual YouTube account. And if we don't get to your question today, then please just put it in the chat with your email address and we will make sure to follow up. So first, let's talk about the two opportunities that we have, which is really focused on kind of two different things. There is some crossover, but I just want to make sure that everybody understands each of them. So the first opportunity is the City of Charlotte Creatives Pool, which is the next evolution of our artist pool that we had in 2019 and 2020. This year, we're expanding it to include all different types of creatives. So we would like to see photographers, videographers, performers, musicians, people who manage artists and artists, visual artists, all as part of the artist pool. And we have several projects that we already know we will engage the artist pool on, which includes some work in Uptown around our cycle track, our continuing project and work with the Urban Arboretum Trail, and then several opportunities in our Corridors of Opportunity program, which I'll just talk about a little bit in a couple minutes. There's also opportunities for performances at a variety of city events. And as we know, there's always things that come up, just like our Shared Street murals did this past year. The second opportunity is the first time that we've done this, and this is really an on-call for creative community engagement. And it's focused on how we work with and do neighborhood and community engagement throughout the city. So the initial work that we know is coming quickly is focused in that Corridors of Opportunity geographies, but there are opportunities that kind of expand beyond that we know will happen. So while some of these creative community engagement opportunities may include artists that specifically like working with the community and doing their art as a complement or doing their creative engagement as a complement, it is not only exclusive to arts organizations. So we are more than excited to see neighborhood leaders participate, other consultants who do this type of engagement. So really, it's a broader pool. So again, just some of those specific kind of projects that we know will happen and happen quickly are part of that Corridors of Opportunity program. So that includes the Sugar Creek Playbook, which is kicking off next week, the Albemarle Playbook, the additional corridors, so work in Beatties Ford and West Boulevard, North Graham, North Tryon, and Wilkinson Freedom, and then several CIP, which are capital investment plan projects, including the Uptown Connects and Gold Line placemaking, which is our streetcar effort. And then again, just topics specific to some deep dives. So we know things will happen that we haven't yet identified. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Corridors of Opportunity, just so you kind of get a good sense as to what that specific program is and what it might look like to engage in it. And Corridors of Opportunity is really focused on quick timeline implementation. So over the next 3 to 5 years. And it's really about an ecosystem of several city departments working together to get things done quickly and to revitalize the corridors. So you can see here the city departments that are engaged in that effort, and all are engaged in the playbooks. So the Sugar Creek Playbook and the Albemarle Playbook. And that includes planning, economic development, CDOT or transportation and transit, housing and neighborhood services, and then just our community engagement group. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the two separate pools and kind of what their goals are and show you some examples. So first, let's talk about the goals of the creative pool. And that's really, again, to provide those opportunities to creatives in our community. We want to be able to do these projects quickly, and we want the artist pool, the creative pool, to be a resource for others interested in the work. So we are more frequently asked for that list of creatives and artists, and we like to be able to share that with neighborhoods and others who are interested in doing this type of work, but might not have your contact information or might not know how to really engage with people who are doing this interesting work. So the content for a completed application for the creative pool is the link can be found. We have a Google Drive link, which can be found in that Medium article. There's several questions that we require you to answer. We'd like to see you upload a presentation or PDF of up to 5 projects completed within 5 years. And then there's also the opportunity for your resume. We then keep all that information and we will pull it and use it as projects happen. And reach out to you. So it's really clear, and I want to be certain everybody understands that in both of these opportunities, it's not a requirement that you be available to do the work. It is, you will be requested if you are available to do the work. And so if you're really busy with something else and you say, thanks, but no thanks, that's also fine. You can still be in the pool. There are always others who are excited to take things on. So you can see here some of the examples of work that our artist pool have worked in over the past couple of years. So shared street murals, the Black Lives Matter mural in Uptown, and then the mural we completed at with Mora out on Monroe Road. So you can see just a sampling of those. Again, we really want to expand this year to include photographers, other creatives, musicians, and those that kind of manage the process as well. Now I'm going to move on to the goals for our on-call for engagement. And this is really focused on meeting the community where they are and meeting the community's needs. You'll see as a common thread for the artist pool or the creative pool is that we want to be able to respond to kind of needs and projects quickly. We really want our on-call for engagement to have some familiarity in the neighborhoods and the communities and populations in which they're working. We really are focused on very specific steps and kind of things that supplement and add to what the city is already doing and the processes we already have. And we want to push the boundaries and be creative and think outside the box. It's more important now than ever that we really meet people where they are and understand the needs of each and every community. And we want to do that in a creative way that might bring people to the table that haven't been engaged in the process before. So the content for a complete application for the on-call for engagement is the cover letter, which is 3 pages max. And that's where you'll fill out that list of kind of all of the different things that you can do. I will just put a plug in here that it's not necessary that you be able to do everything on that list. We really are more interested in just knowing kind of what the options are and what you feel most comfortable doing. So that's the first 3 pages. You'll then have the qualifications, which is a max of 10 pages, and that would include any resumes that you might have, as well as prior work. And then you'll have a fee schedule, which this can be really simple. It can be just an hourly rate by classification, or it can be by named position. And then you'll have the form that you sign that is basically the statement of qualification submission form. You'll have the Charlotte Business Inclusion form, which is really, are you in the program? Are you not in the program? And I'll put a plug in here that if you're not in the program, but if you qualify, we would love to help get you certified as part of this program. And then the last component is the background responses. And in that, it's just a series of questions in which you'll also answer kind of what is your relationship to specifically the corridors, what's your background working with city government, and several other questions there. And that's a max of 3 pages as well. And you can see here kind of what some of those types of engagement might look like. It could be anything from block parties, pop-ups, community suppers, community dinners, to, again, that artist component, the community murals, things like a better block, which we've done a couple of those, and then just general beautification. So really quickly, I will save kind of all the questions that are additional to the end. So really quickly, I'm going to go through the questions that we had submitted by last Friday. So what is meant by on-call? On-call just means that you are available to be selected. So it doesn't just by getting selected, it doesn't guarantee that you will get work through this project, but it makes your services available. So we plan on having them available for 2 years. If that situation changes, you can always decline to submit, but we will reach out to you kind of as needs arise. So should the lead consultant be a U.S. citizen or a lawful permanent resident? The city uses the E-Verify program, and so we would work with any of the applicants to kind of go through that to verify whether or not they can do the work. Can a team consist of a few individuals from different organizations? A team can consist of several individuals, or it can be a singular individual. It doesn't have to be comprised of a whole team that meets all of the needs. So we're more than happy to have individuals apply that can do the work. The deadline is listed as April 25th, which, yes, it is a Sunday. And yes, that is the intended due date. I've had several people ask that. If that does not work for you, then you can make the due date in your mind Friday, but the date is Sunday. The Sunday, and all the submissions are digital submissions to the UDC at charlottenc.gov for the on-call, or through the Google Drive for the creative pool. So that is the deadline. If that doesn't work for you, then maybe the next opportunity will, but that is when our deadline is for this. So the RFQ states one-page resumes may be inserted into the body of the statement of qualifications or as an attachment. Everything counts towards that 10-page maximum that is a resume or a description of your qualifications. So whether you did it as separate one pages or you put them into the body of text, it still counts toward your 10 pages. And does that count toward the 10-page max, the extra forms? And those forms do not count towards your 10-page maximum. They are separate forms, so they do not count towards the maximum. The fee schedule, our billing rates. So again, because this is a wide swath and we're really encouraging people to apply that might not have worked with the city prior, the fee schedule can be anything from just an hourly rate. If a singular individual applies, just an hourly rate is appropriate. Or if you might have a more extensive staff list, you can include general categories into the hourly rate. We will be asking for people to put together a scope and fee for each project. So this is really just to get an understanding of the order of magnitude as to kind of what the general fees are. So this is not locking you into those fees for all future work. Is a cover for the proposal required? If so, does it count toward the 3-page maximum for the cover letter? A cover is not required and it doesn't count towards the maximum. So now I'm going to just roll through the additional questions. And let me start. So start one. I co-teach, I'm reading the question. I co-teach at UNCC art class. We would like to apply to the creative pool as a team of 2. Are we eligible to apply? Yes, you're eligible to apply. It can be either teams or individuals. So that, yes. Is it mostly 2D work that is considered for the corridors of opportunity? No, we are looking to expand the work beyond just 2-dimensional. So we would love, and we have honestly several opportunities that are not just murals. So we would love for a wider range of people to apply. We would love this another group that would love to be a part of it. That sounds great. Again, we're looking for individuals and groups in the creative pool. It's not exclusive to singular people. If you work as a collective or a gallery, then please feel free to apply as a group. You can apply with a class or a pool of students. That would be, you can do either one. It really depends on which one you're leaning towards, the broader engagement one or very focused on the creatives. You can apply for both pools. That is perfectly acceptable. You might want to apply. Some people might feel like they're better suited for one versus the other. Some may be interested in both. That's completely fine. There's no conflict there. Do organizations with multiple members need to upload individual resumes related to each member, or are you looking for more of a summary of the organization's activities and qualifications? That is to your discretion, but I would say that, I mean, we're really looking just to understand who people are and who's actually doing the work. So a summary or a few sentences on both the organization and the people doing the work. Would be very helpful. It doesn't need to be a full resume. If you are an individual that is also a part of the collective, should you apply for each entity yourself? You can apply yourself as well as the group. If you are interested in doing work as an individual and as a group, then I would encourage you to apply for both, because whichever you do apply for would be how we would then hire you. So if you are in for both, then you could be hired for either one. If it's one or the other, then that is how you would be contracted, and that's how the work would happen. So if you're interested in doing both, then I would say apply for both. For the on-call, let's say someone includes their resumes at the end of their SOQ as an attachment. Does that still count against their 10 pages? Thanks. Yes, that does still, if you have it at the end, that still counts. The thought is that this is not, we don't need a ton of information based on background work. So it is 10 pages maximum, resumes and prior work included. Will spiritual wellness creatives be a part of this application? You're more than welcome to apply as part of this application. And I mean, it depends what kind of work we have in the future, but we would be more than happy to have that as part of the on-call. Understand on-call is for 2 years. How long do you serve on the creative pool if chosen? So the creative pool, we have been, so the previous 2 years that we have done it, it has been obviously about a year long, and then we've refreshed the pool because there have been some who have not, people have moved or they might not want to have participated. Our thought is that this pool would last closer to 2 years. There is a likely chance that we will reopen it at some point and allow more people to join. And at that point, we would check in to see if people were still interested in staying on board. For on-call engagement, to what extent will staff be involved? I.e., will staff be determining the mode of engagement and consultant implementing, or vice versa? I'm assuming you mean city staff. So the city staff will be, and the people assigned to that project will be, for the most part, determining the mode of engagement and who's implementing it. So if we are unsure, then we might ask for a couple proposals from the pool and then take that advice and kind of then craft what exactly we're doing from that. But for the most part, staff has a pretty good idea as to what, at least a general mode and a general idea. I think there's always some back and forth when people bring new experience to the table. For the business management pool, can you explain what depth you are looking in that pool? I'm assuming you mean the on-call engagement pool. So I would say that, so we're doing what we're calling playbooks, which are 4 to 8 month kind of corridor planning, economic development, transportation study projects. And we're looking for depth in those that can really help us understand the community needs and, again, reach people that have reached before in that effort. So, we're looking for people that can fill that gap. Can I apply separately for each entity? Yes. Yes, you may apply separately um, for both the creative pool and for the engagement. Are there particular types or qualities of work that you are looking for? Um, Honestly, we are looking for a wide range of qualities. We are looking for people that know and understand Charlotte communities that we're working in, and for people that are open to working with neighbors, residents, and looking for people who are interested in pushing the envelope and engaging people in ways that we might not have done before. Yes, for the creative pool, there is a limit of 5 pages, 1 page per project, and five projects total. If you do not feel like you have 5 projects that are worthy of submitting, you can always also submit less. Can small nonprofits fall under the city certified small business enterprise classification? I do not know the answer to that question. I'm not an expert on the business inclusion program, but it is not a requirement to get in, to be very clear, it is not a requirement to be in the artist pool or in the on-call for community engagement to be a part of the small business or minority women owned business program. We will, as part of the both the artist pool and the on call, we will work with our procurement team to get people who are interested and eligible to be registered for them to get registered at a later date. So this is just so that we can understand who is already a part of the program. It is not a requirement to be a to already be in the system. So that is a great bonus, and that's great if you are, but it is not a requirement. Um, will this live stream still be available after this meeting has finished? Yes, it will be available at this link. So if you want to share it with others, please feel free to do so. Again, our goal is to get the wonderful, talented people in our community engaged in this process. How often and how will the city staff communicate potential projects? I was in last year's pool and the email blast to the group was helpful for me. So we will follow that same protocol. So obviously there's two different opportunities. The artist pool will be very similar. We will, because it is broader in the types of creatives in the pool, we will likely communicate some to the entire group and some in categories based on what the needs are. So that will happen fairly frequently. So I don't want to give a specific period of time, but we will communicate as soon as there are opportunities available. We will let you know about those. And again, we will really work hard. One of our goals for the year is to work on some of those training opportunities for everyone in the pool. With the engagement on call for community engagement, those will also be communicated with fairly regularly. And we will have those divided into categories too. So we will reach out to those who are particularly qualified when a need arises. So again, please be considerate and really thoughtful in what all the boxes you're checking so that we can kind of fine tune our needs based on that. So, and those same training opportunities will be available to the on-call. Can Charlotte natives apply if they don't live in the city currently? Yes, there is not a limit of geography. Obviously, with the pandemic, a lot of this, the expectation is that you can do the work in Charlotte, but there is not a specific limit. If you miss this deadline, will the pool reopen before the 2-year program ends? We are working on kind of the ins and outs of that right now. We have some immediate needs. So for us, the Sunday deadline is fairly important. Our goal would be to reopen before the 2-year program ends. I don't know exactly the logistics and day and time around that. Are there any other questions that I might have missed? These are really helpful questions. And again, this presentation will be up for you to view and send back to um, others who may have missed it in live stream. Okay, so seeing none, we look forward to seeing all the really wonderful applications. We can't wait to work with many of you all on our upcoming projects. We feel like this is an exciting time at the City of Charlotte, and we are looking forward to it. If you have any additional questions, please send them to our email address at udc@charlottenc.gov by 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, and we will turn those back around to you as quickly as possible. I look forward to working with you all. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday, and I can't wait to see all of the wonderful work that you have done. Thank you and have a great day.